Following that is the MetaQuest 3. Now, we have all of the MetaQuest 3 factuals going on here, and this is possibly the most exciting thing that is being launched in a long time for AR headsets. Now, you can definitely argue that the Apple Pro Vision is up there. I would counter argue and say for $3,500, some of those features are pretty gimmicky on that. Apple's not one to do gimmicky features all the time. You had the Island come out. That was kind of a gimmick. Now you have the Pro Vision, got some gimmicky things to it. But nonetheless, at $3,500, you're missing most of the people that would be interested in buying one, especially a first-gen product. So the MetaQuest 3 after the MetaQuest 2. The MetaQuest 2 was amazing. I own one of those. The software updates throughout the lifespan, it got better. And now we have the MetaQuest 3. Now this is coming up like 3 years later, so it's been a minute. But honestly, a lot of the features are in line with the Quest Pro or better than the Quest Pro, which is an $1,100 headset. And this here starts at $500 for 128 gigs. Now, on October 10th is the official release date. This will have the Qualcomm Snapdragon XR2 Gen 2 chip, which I believe is like the slightly better than the Pro, if I remember correctly. So the Quest 3 will have twice the graphics processing power of the Quest 2, which is absolutely astounding. Now, also, there's a lot of big changes with this headset outside of this. 8 gigs of RAM. Storage will have 128 gigs. That's the $500 model. 512 gigs for $649. So quite a big difference there. But to be honest, 128 gigs from most people is probably all right for a mobile headset like this. Big changes coming to this here is they will have 2 RGB external cameras. So you have full color pass-through this time. Also, since the headset is 3 times faster at processing your graphics, it'll be so much better for that. Refresh rate is 90 Hz native, but experimental 120. I believe on the Quest 2 right now, and I could be wrong, I believe you can get 120 Hz too, but the graphical fidelity of games on the Quest 3 is going to be incredibly better. We're looking at about the exact same battery life as the Quest 2, which if that's true, 2 hours of playtime is pretty good. Charge time's 2 hours as well. Everything's backwards compatible, no eye tracking, but this headset with its extra tracking and stuff like that, you won't necessarily need to use the controllers. It does have the controllers, but you won't need them, which is sweet because the hand gestures on the 2 just felt like the headset couldn't quite handle it or pick it up all the time, but this one will be able to. Now, other awesome things here is that the Quest 3 gets a fully upgraded display. We're getting about 30% more resolution compared to the Quest 2. Further specs includes 25 pixels per degree in virtual reality, 1,218 pixels per inch. I also read in a few articles that the headset will be about half the size of the Quest 2, which is also that's a pretty wild change. That's a big change in terms of weight, size. I mean, you can see it here. The front of the headset is easily close to that 50% smaller. I would expect the Quest 3 to eventually push 144 hertz in later updates. I don't see why it wouldn't. And the Quest, I don't want to make you buy something just because I'd say so. But the Quest 2 did get plenty of updates that made frame rate better, fidelity better. They got a lot of things changed with that headset over its lifespan, and I think the Quest 3 will probably see that same support, with Meta basically going full in on this. So unfortunately, it's only 18-watt charging, which is exactly what the Quest 2 had. As you can see, its optical profile is now 40% slimmer, and that's due to some new pancake lenses. That said, the company Oculus that Meta bought makes great lenses, and hopefully Meta hasn't changed that because that is literally the most important part of the headset. Now, the Quest 3 is also 40% louder than the Quest 2, which the Quest 2 already got pretty loud. Not like ear-hurting loud by any means, but it got pretty loud, so Quest 3 will probably be hitting that thing. There also will now be a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack if you want to plug in headphones. That is awesome. I would love to see Bluetooth support that's better than the Quest 2. The Quest 2 just was a little sketch. In terms of straps, it's a soft strap included, the Hard Elite for $69 extra. Similar to the Quest 2, the strap design is slightly altered for a more secure fit. Controllers, however, have changed design here. So the controllers don't have the circles on them anymore. Sweet. Touch Controllers Plus will also support true haptics, giving the Quest 3 controllers features we love from the PSVR 2. As this article says, I've never tried the PSVR 2, but I believe that requires the PlayStation, so this doesn't, so whatever. This is a hot take from this article, but the Touch Plus controller will frustratingly rely on disposable AA batteries. That's stupid to say because you can buy rechargeable AA batteries, genius. And the headset does get a MetaQuest charging dock for an additional $129. The wireless charging for the headset is facilitated through contact pads on the bottom of the headset and include lithium rechargeable batteries for the controllers. Quest 3 is full of features. Now, I don't really care about the rest of this. I think for $500, especially when you think of Apple's provision of the MetaQuest 2, of the MetaQuest Pro, this headset should kill it. Yes, it's more expensive. MetaQuest 2 is $300. $200 more for this update is insane, especially if it meets everything they showed off. It's going to be a wild headset to have, use, do whatever you want with. And I'm excited for this. This is a headset. I might wait for a couple of reviews, a couple people to get hands-on at least, just because that's how I prefer to buy things, is someone else tries it first and then I buy it. But this is definitely a candidate for me wanting to buy a new headset here. It looks sweet. I think it's a clear miles upgrade over the Quest 2, and it's exciting to see these AR or VR, whatever you want to call these XR headsets, to get these massive updates like that.